Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. If you jump on here live here on this Wednesday morning, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Make sure to give the video a like, a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so, and share the video on all social media platforms. And never let it be said, good morning, Keveron. Glad to have you here. As always, that I'm not a real Clemson fan, despite the terrible, horrific, really bad, awful start. I think I've still wore a Clemson shirt in every video this week. Now, if you follow the channel and watch on a regular basis, you know that I do have some clothing that's not Clemson, but it's not much. But if I wasn't a real fan, I would be finding the shirts that wasn't Clemson, but I'm still wearing my Clemson stuff because I am a true fan. Never let that be said. But since it is a Wednesday, it's time for a weekly top 10 countdown. Now, the last 2 weeks, I did countdowns about Halloween because there are so many different Halloween videos you can do, whether it's about costumes, candy, or anything like that with Halloween. So I thought for a while that I might just do a top 10 countdown about Halloween every Wednesday up until Halloween, and then I was like, no, I might get old after a while, so let's kind of get away from Halloween for a week, and maybe I'll go back next week. I don't know. That's why you should follow the channel all the time, because you never know what I'm going to talk about, and half the time at the last minute, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about, because I've got scattered brain real bad, so I jump all over. So I might say right now, tomorrow I'm going to talk about this, and then tomorrow come and talk about something totally different. This week on the top 10 countdown, we're going to talk about college football, because most teams have played 4 games. So you're about a quarter or a third of the way through the season based on whether you've played 3 games or 4 games. Most teams it's 4, but some have already had a bye weeks they played just 3. So when you get about a quarter or a third of the way through the season, it's like Dennis Green once said a long time ago, you are who we thought you were. Like they still say to this day, you are what your record says you are. But I'm not going to talk about records, because some of the teams that I'm fixing to talk about have a win or 2, because I'm going to talk about the worst 10 college football Division I football teams. We're talking about 134 teams. Now, I'm doing the FBS level because obviously, for the most part, FBS teams should be better than FCS teams. But a lot of the bottom feeders and the bottom dwellers at the FBS level, they kick off their season playing FCS teams. So for the most part, not all the time, we do see occasions now. I think it's happened 3 times this year where an FCS team beats an FBS team. It used to never happen. Now it happens on a rare occasion, but it's still not, something you see all the time. Good morning, Kat. Glad to have you here. But for the most part, even a bottom dweller FBS team beats an FCS team. So even if you're a bottom dweller FBS team, if you play an FCS team, you're probably more often than not going to win. So some of the teams on this list have a win. So I'm not ranking them based on the win-loss record. I'm ranking them based on how I've seen them play, what I've seen so far, how bad I think they're going to be. I'm not projecting what their win-loss record is going to be, nothing like that. Just watching them play and thinking, boy, that team is awful. And Cat, I guess it depends on who you ask. In my mind, as a very humble person, I'll never be famous. But there might be some folks that would tell you I'm famous. But to me, I'll never be famous because I would never let fame go to my head. But some people could be small town famous and think they're God's gift to famous people. I'm not that way. So in my mind, Cat, I'll never be famous. But thank you for liking and subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate that. The channel is slowly growing. And when I started this channel, Cat, I never thought I would get to 500 subscribers. And I've about got to 1,500 subscribers. So still not near as big as what I'm hoping for, and still not near as big as other folks' YouTube channel. But for a small town guy with a small town channel doing this all by himself, I'm happy with the results so far and the growing that we're getting here on the channel. So we're just going to talk about the top 10 worst teams, or I guess you could say bottom 10 worst teams. Hey there, Amir. Glad to have you here, but not their record, just watching them play. And if there's any of them you haven't seen play, you don't want to see much out of them. So I would say get on YouTube and just type up the team's name and just watch 10 minutes of highlights. And you'll be like, boy, that team's pitiful. But right now, number 10 for me is Marshall. Now, Marshall being number 10 is why I'm doing right now, because when the season ends, Marshall probably wouldn't be on the list because they have slowly gotten better every week. But remember, this is a team that basically after last year lost their whole coaching staff and their entire roster. So you're talking about a team that started the year with a new head coach, with basically a whole new staff and a whole new roster. So of course you're going to be flat out awful when the year starts because the coaches don't know each other, the players don't know each other, the coaches don't know the players. So, nobody knows anybody. So you can't have chemistry when you don't know each other. And half of them didn't meet each other until football started. So of course you're going to be bad, but I do think that come November, Marshall's still going to be bad, but they're not going to be one of the worst 10 teams in the country. Oh, Kat, if you're new here, then I appreciate you stopping by and subscribing. But if you have a new YouTube channel, then please let me know what it is, and I'd love to check it out sometime. If you don't have one and you ever decide to start one, then please come back and let me know. I'd love to know all about it. So when you said you're new, I didn't know if you meant you were new to the channel or if you were new to YouTube. So if you're new to YouTube, good luck to you. And I wish you the best. And let me know what your channel is. I'd love to check it out sometime. If you're new to the channel and that's what you meant, then appreciate you being here. To me, number 9 is Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan is one of those teams that's bad every year. They're one of the directional schools in Michigan. Michigan's got Central Michigan, Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan, and Central Michigan has some good years. Western Michigan has some decent years. It seemed like before P.J. Fleck left Western Michigan to go to Minnesota, Western Michigan was getting better, but Eastern Michigan seems like they're always bad. They never have a good year. Number 8 is UTEP, and UTEP's just like Eastern Michigan. UTEP had about 4 or 5 years, I guess it's probably been more than a decade ago now, when they had Mike Price as their head coach. And when Mike Price was their head coach, man, they were good. They were a 7, 8, 9 win team. But before him, they were bad. And now that he's been gone, they're slowly getting worse every year. Number 7 is Charlotte. Now, I do think Charlotte will get better. And Charlotte, I know there's a lot of big-time programs around them. Right there in Charlotte, you're not in the what they call triangle but you're not far away. So you've got NC State, North Carolina, Duke, Wake Forest. Plus, Charlotte's not far from Virginia, so you've got Virginia and the Hokies. Charlotte's also not far from Atlanta, so it's hard to recruit for a small team like Charlotte when you have so many Power 4 teams right up the road from you. But there's so much high school talent in the Charlotte area that they still get some. And hey there, Malusi, glad to have you here on this Wednesday. I do think Charlotte will slowly get better. They're going through a lot of coaching changes as well, but I do think in a year or so they're going to be getting better. And then we have number 6, Middle Tennessee State. Now, Middle Tennessee State had a coach named Rick Stockstill, and when he was their coach, he averaged right at 6 wins a year, but he coached there for about 20 years. So they had stability and they were consistent. He only averaged 6 wins a year, but he would have an 8-win year and follow that up with a 4-win year. He would have a 7-win year and follow that up with a 4-win year. So he never had 10 or 11 win seasons, but he also never had 1 or 2 win seasons. They were just consistently an average football team. But then Rick Stockstill retired, and ever since then they've gradually gotten worse. And I'd love to see them start winning again. They're a team that, for whatever reason, I've always wanted to pull for and wanted to cheer for. So I'd love to see them slowly get better. Hey there, I'm going to hope that's pronounced Telly Machuse. If not, I apologize, but it's good to have you here in Malusi and Telemachuse. If it's y'all's first time here, for whatever reason y'all decided to stop by the channel here on this Wednesday, I greatly appreciate it. And if you are new here, feel free to give the video a like and a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, please do so and share the video on all social media platforms. Again, 10 through 6 is Marshall, Eastern Michigan, UTEP, Charlotte, and Middle Tennessee State. Oh, you subscribe, Telemachuse. Well, I really appreciate that, and thank you for liking the channel. Tell your friends, tell your family about the channel so that wherever you are in the world, maybe you can get other folks there in that area that you are to subscribe to the channel and like the videos. We have people all the time check in from other countries, so if you're in another country, appreciate you being here. We have something for everybody here on the channel. We talk football, college and pro, even some high school. We talk baseball, college and pro. Hey there, Satha. I hope I pronounced that right. If not, I apologize, and no, I'm not Texan. I've never been to Texas, as a matter of fact, but Satha or Sathia, ever how it's pronounced, thank you for being here. Feel free to give the video a like and a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, please do so. And Sathia or Sathia, if it's your first time here, whatever reason made you stop by the channel today, I appreciate that. I have a southern accent. That's what my accent is, Sathia. I try not to use southern words because some southern words, just to me, sound stupid. And I'm convinced some of the southern words aren't even real words. So I try not to use the southern words. But I have a southern accent. Can't hide that. And thank you, Telemachuse, for sharing the video with one of your friends. You can share it on all social media platforms. And Sathia or Sathia, ever how your name is pronounced, if you like my accent, maybe that'll give you a reason to come back to the channel, because I post just about every single day. Now, if you notice, the channel is called Ref Brandon and the Todd Family, so it's not just my channel. Occasionally, my wife will be on here with me, but she's not a big YouTube person. She don't like sitting down in front of the camera and just chit-chatting like I do, but she has been in a few videos. Hey there, Taha. Glad to have you here. And then my kids, as they get older, they'll be in some videos, but Sathia, I have twin boys, and I have a daughter, and they're at that age where them sitting down for a long period of time just ain't gonna happen. And I don't want to set them down for video and then, 2 minutes into it, they're ready to get up and run away. So every once in a while, if they're here, you'll hear them, in the background. But as far as setting them down for video, I don't try. I know it ain't gonna work. They're either gonna want to get up, or since they're twin boys that love wrestling, they're gonna start fighting. But as they get older and bigger and wiser, you'll see more of them. So eventually it'll be more of the family, but for right now it's more of me. But it is a family channel, and then as you see more of my family, there'll be less and less all about sports. Now my wife loves wrestling like I do, but she's not a big sports fan. So when she's in the video, there ain't gonna be no football talk, no baseball talk, no basketball talk. But I love sports, so when it's me, most of the time it's gonna be about sports. But I try not to focus on one sport, Sathaya, because there's a lot of people that have a channel that's just for football or just for baseball, just for basketball. And if you're in a hurry, you can come back and finish the video later, Sathaya. But thank you for stopping by, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct. It looks like either Sathaya or Sathia. I hope that is correct. If not, again, I apologize. So I figure since there's so many channels that focus on just football, just baseball, just basketball, just NASCAR, just wrestling, that I didn't want to talk about something that's already been done by many people. So I have a channel where I talk about all the sports. That way, no matter what sport you like, there'll be something here on the channel for you, and you can always, Sathaya, come back anytime when you get free time and watch. You don't have to watch live. It's better live because I see your comment right away, but you can watch a video anytime it's posted and leave a comment, and I'll still see your comment and I'll still reply to your comment. It just won't be live here in the video. It'll just be, through your computer, your laptop, your phone, whatever you watch YouTube on. But I will still see your comment, just not during the live video, but you can watch it anytime you get free time. But number 5 is Nevada. Now, the people in Nevada will get mad if you call it Nevada, but to me it looks like Nevada. It sounds better as Nevada, but no matter what you want to call them, they used to have Chris Alt, and when Chris Alt was their coach, they were good for a long time, but that's it. Number 4 is Akron. Akron's a team that's pretty much going to be bad all the time. They're never going to be good. They sneak up on occasion and have a good year, but that's a rare occasion. Number 3 is a team that's always on here too. That's Ball State. I couldn't tell you the last time Ball State was good outside of the years that Brady Hoke was their coach. But outside of those years, that's it. That's the problem with programs like this, and that's why most of these teams like Eastern Michigan and Nevada and Akron and Ball State, why they're always on the list. Hey there, glad to have you here. But they're on this list because coaches that go there, if they get fired, they still suck. But if the coach goes there and does good, you're not going to stay coaching at Eastern Michigan. You're not going to stay coaching at UTEP. You're not going to stay coaching at Akron. You leave for a bigger job. So then when you go to Akron and they finally have 2 or 3 good years, the coach leaves and goes to a big-time program, and then they're back to sucking. But teams like that are never going to be good every year because you either get a bad coach that don't work out and you have to let them go, or you get a good coach that does work out, and as soon as he starts winning, he leaves, and then half the players follow that coach, and then you start all over again. So that's why most of these teams that are bad all the time. Number 2, UMass. And number 1 to me is the golden flashes of Kent State. I couldn't tell you the last time that Kent State was even competitive. I mean, there's some of these teams that are bad, but they compete. But Kent State, not one of those teams. They're one of those teams that when they play a good FBS level program, they get beat 75-3. I mean, half the time you can't even tell that they're trying on the football field. So they're pretty bad, and you get on YouTube and just type up Kent State and watch them, and it's hard to find a 10-minute video of good stuff because when they play, there's hardly ever 10 minutes of good stuff. I mean, they're that bad. They're awful. But any thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. My sister just started her job at the flour mill. I know she will succeed. She always rises to the occasion. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them.